What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Happy February, everybody. The first is here. Only 21 more days, 3 weeks until Witch Queen drops, and I am too excited for it. Content is gonna be absolutely crazy. It's basically like a new game. I know I've said that before, but I am just too excited for this, and we got some good content definitely planned beforehand, and then once it comes out, content 24/7 basically. It's going to be absolutely crazy. So thank you guys for always coming back, checking out the channel, giving the videos some likes, views, everything like that, sharing it around with your friends. I truly appreciate it. So thank you guys so much, and let's get into today's video, going over something that I think is great for everybody to do before Witch Queen, a nice little armor prep for them. There is a couple activities that drop some high stat armors, and then a couple that you can just farm and that have great extra slots in them, like from the Master GOA. So we're gonna go over a couple activities I think everybody should be grinding out in these last few weeks to get some crazy armor rolls, just to prep just in case for those crazy changes that we're going to be getting to the sandbox with Witch Queen, because right now stats really don't matter, besides maybe like resilience in super endgame, and then like your class abilities for like mobility for hunter, recovery for warlock, and then resilience for titan, you know, so you can throw up your shield well and dodge more often. But besides that, there really isn't too much use for stats in my personal opinion at this point. Besides Crucible, you know, you can kind of trick out your triple 100, something like that, but overall stats at this point in the game aren't super influential on how activities and stuff like that goes. So the first activity that I want to cover is right here, going over these expunge missions, turning in your corrupted data keycards that you get just from defeating enemies around the map, around the universe. So you get 5 of these that you can hold in your inventory, and they will drop again once you get rid of the 5, but you can come into these expunge missions. They are all over the planets, couple on Europa, couple on Tangled Shore, couple on the moon, stuff like that. So just go around and do these. They're super easy to do solo. You can do them in about 8 minutes solo. If you have a fire team, you can crush them even faster, and then you can spend the key cards at the end on a chest, and those corrupted data key cards will give you either double rolls on weapons or high stat armor rolls. So it's definitely a super good way to farm some weapons as well from that season, the season of the Splicer, and then also get that high stat armor, and they're easy to do. So definitely suggest, if you have some of these corrupted data keycards laying around in your inventory, go do a couple of the expunge missions around the universe and get that high stat armor before Witch Queen. Now, the next 3 that I'm going to cover are basically the same thing. They are all dungeons, but they are all the bosses of the dungeons. So Pit of Heresy, Zulamak, you can go in and do once per week per character. So you can get 3 drops from him, and he drops some absolutely banging armor from defeating Zulamak in the Pit of Heresy. Now, the same thing kind of goes for the Prophecy dungeon. Your first clear each week per character. So your first 3 clears, 1 on each character for the Prophecy dungeon. That final boss, they also drop super good high stat armor from that final encounter, but you can also farm it as well. So that chest at the end, once you get teleported and you got the giant face of the 9 right there, that chest can give you some pretty good armor out of it as well, and it is farmable after your first run. It just might not drop as high after that, but there is still chances of it dropping at a super good high armor stat roll for that dungeon, and it is pretty easy to complete the boss room. Now, the most important farm I think everybody should be doing before Witch Queen starts is right here, the Grasp of Avarice Master Dungeon boss room. This thing is super easy to complete. It's not really too much different than the normal version, except for you got to deal with servitor barrier champions within there, and stuff does hit a little bit harder, but you can 2-phase the boss super easily and one phase it if you guys are in a fire team and doing it the most efficient way. But two phasing a boss where you get double drops at the end is amazing. Plus the armor that you get from this dungeon, from the master dungeon, I should say, completing those activities. As you can see, I got 2 head pieces from it, which is kind of unlucky that I didn't get like heads in an arm or head in a chest piece. But the last slot, the last mod slot on this armor, the artifice armor, is so good because you can have an extra artifact mod that you can put on your builds with this armor. Now you can see right here, I can only put on scavenger for shotgun because that's the only headset armor piece that I have, or armor mod that I got from this artifact. Like next season, we're going to be able to possibly unlock all 25 mods, which is going to be crazy. So you will have more viable options, but you do need one of those for each your head, arms, chest, legs, and then class items. So you can kind of pick and choose which mods go on each of those because they are specific. You can't just throw on, you know, mods anywhere, just like your anti-barrier and overload. You're gonna have to have a pair of arms with that artifice mod, that extra mod at the very end to throw on, like unstoppable as well, let's say, if you can fit it with your energy on that certain piece of armor. But I definitely think that this is the most important one to farm. Definitely goes Master GOA boss. Go through that, bang it out, get some of that crazy armor from this dungeon, the master version. Then do your corrupted key cards because you can go through those a bunch of times, get those, turn them in with that chest, unlock it, and get that crazy armor stats on it. And then go to your prophecy dungeon because you can farm that pretty hard after your initial clears. And then finally Zulamak, do that at least 3 times per week these last 3 weeks. So you only got 9 more chances to get some pretty good armor on each of your characters. So those are really my big 4 things that you should be farming. The dungeon bosses, because they are great, super quick activity clears for great armor, and then those corrupted key codes with the expunge missions. If you can do the expunge missions, I know they're probably behind a certain season paywall, whatever that was, season 13 season pass you would need or something dumb. But if you can't, just go in and do some of these dungeons and farm those bosses because they are absolutely amazing. And I guarantee we're going to need some change in armor stats coming up here in the future with the changes that are coming to the sandbox. So thank you guys so much again for watching. Gonna be a crazy time coming up here. So I appreciate it truly, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.